welcome to the Trading Bell. We are right here at Bamburi. I know you've seen green and you're wondering, Bamburi and green? Yes, there's a lot of work that they're doing. We're going to have an amazing conversation with the CEO and MD, Mohit Kapoor. He's right here. He's right here. And of course, Johnson. Yes, the site manager as well. And we're going to have an amazing time and a tour and discussing Bamburi in detail. What are they doing? What's the business like? But first, let's get a profile of Mohit, then get into the conversation. Mohit Kapoor is the Group Chief Executive Officer of Bamburi Cement PLC, effective 1st April 2023. Mr. Kapoor has a track record of driving consistent business growth and harnessing increased value through sustainable cost and operational efficiencies. He has over 20 years corporate leadership experience, having held several high-level management positions within the Holcim Group, including country CEO Holcim Qatar, Head of Growth and Innovation Holcim India, Managing Director of Ready Mix Projects Lafarge India, Vice President Health and Safety APAC, Vice President Logistics and Supply Chain Lafarge India, and Senior Project Manager Lafarge Group Audit. He holds a master's degree in marketing from Ford School of Management, India, has qualifications in supply chain management from IIM Ahmedabad, India, and a bachelor's degree in electronics engineering from Nagpur University, India. Mohit Kapoor, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Maina.
It's good to have you.
Pleasure.
Wow, I have seen a lot of big machines happening, things are happening, the activities on. But first, before we get there, it's been about 9 months now since you took this particular seat. And I just wanted to ask you, how has it been just in general?
Very nice, I must say. Thank you so much, Maina, for being here.
Yeah.
Amazing, I would say.
Yeah.
As I was mentioning earlier, amongst the various expatriations that I've been through, perhaps the easiest one that I've really felt very comfortable to just come in and get adjusted has been my experience in Kenya.
Wow.
The initial months were a bit, spent to understand the business, the customers and the context. During those initial months, there was also an opportunity to revamp the leadership team. So by around the third quarter, the quarter of July, we had the new team in place. And then after that, we are just rolling in and managing the business with our vision and focus.
Excellent, excellent. Let's get to the matter that, because you've been in the news of late a little bit, and addressing some recent incident that we have had about coal storage preparations, some Mombasa residents saying a few things here and there. And I just wanted to hear from your end, just in terms of context and the measures that you've put in place to ensure that you're coexisting well and there's minimal impact on operations to enhance environmental stewardship and community engagement.
So I've read some of these news in the media as well, and I want to clear the air absolutely clearly, is that Bamburi cement operations were not impacted at all, not even a single bit. What had happened was that towards the end of December, in our quarry storage area, we were preparing the ground, the teams were preparing the ground to receive the next shipment. And during that preparation process, unfortunately, due to a huge gutsy wind that blew at that time, some of the fine material that they were kind of leveling it kind of flew in the air and probably was carried a bit by the air. Ideally, what should have happened is a little bit of sprinkling of water could have helped immediately, or probably they would have stopped the activity for until the wind subsides, and there would have been nothing. And let's say even if it kind of flew, a simple phone call or a message that, by the way, something is happening, fix it, it would have been resolved. Unfortunately, it did not, and then it took a completely different turn on its own. I must reassure everybody that Bamburi is absolutely compliant on all these matters, and I'm mentioning it because some of these have been reported in the media, so I want to take the opportunity to correct that. We are fully compliant, we have all the licenses, we have been operating in those areas, our quarry and our plant, for the last several decades. Nothing of this sort has happened, and but nonetheless, the county government visited, they understood. I also had a meeting with the governor and the deputy governor and the DG of NEMA, and I explained them, and they understood absolutely well what the issue was. But nonetheless, in order to assure all the stakeholders said do a little bit of sprinkling more, perhaps a better coordination in terms of joint working together, take some extra measures, which we said happily we would do it. And not only that, if there's something more to be done, we would do it.
Okay.
So Bamburi, in fact, they were always supporting the things that we've been doing in terms of the environment.
Yeah.
We've also received several awards and recognitions, and we just hope that we continue like that. Now, I cannot do a bit about what's sometimes wrongly reported in the media also,
no, you're right,
but it gives me an operatunity to clarify that.
Okay, thank you so much for that clarification. And I believe there is now an amicable solution all towards operating well with the community. Let's talk about now, let's go to your performance and strategy, because I'm sure your shareholders are watching and they would really be glad to hear from you and how this is going on. So you've been a key player in this particular industry, and I would like you to summarize the company's performance in the past year and any strategic initiatives that have contributed to this performance.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I can say that 2023, we've just closed the year.
Yeah.
We are still yet to publish the numbers. But I can say that our leadership team had been very focused in terms of how do we navigate the company in the context that we are operating in. And in that context, I would say it gives me very, very positive feeling about the performance we've just concluded in 2023.
Yeah.
Our top line has grown. Our volumes have also grown, even though marginally. The prices have also grown marginally again, probably less than 3%. And the top line has actually grown by more than double digit.
Oh.
So it's a good progress. And we have our internal targets and internal stretch targets. So it gives me a lot of pleasure to share that the Bamburi Group achieved its stretch targets for 2023.
Wow.
And that means better bonuses for our employees this year.
Yeah.
But I must say that it has all happened in the lot of hard work and effort that the teams have made. Especially, I would like to call out the industrial performance.
Yeah.
Our industrial performance has improved significantly, and that has led to enhanced efficiencies and lowering of costs per unit of the cement that we produce.
Yeah.
And that has also helped us significantly to navigate the cost pressures that we had been facing. So the currency devaluation led to increase of raw material costs. The power costs have gone up significantly. The fuel cost has gone up significantly. So in this context, to be able to reduce your cost by 3% has been a lot of effort and challenge. On the commercial side, the teams have worked a lot with the consumers in terms of new products, in terms of the enhanced customer service that we do.
Yeah.
And also I would say that on the sustainability agenda, we are moving very fast on all the levers that we've identified for themselves. So net 23 has been a good year.
Okay, and I'll come for your at least 1 or 2, 3 highlights on the sustainability report that you released. But before I get there, let me ask you, in general, that you did well, does it mean that looking at the entire ecosystem of the country and the construction, because you're purely at the heart of construction, that means people are building a lot?
Yes. Yes. And I think if you look at the mega trends, the focus on urbanization is going to continue.
Yeah.
The focus on affordable housing is going to continue.
Okay.
These big projects, I'm sure there was earlier roads and dams and these expressways. Going forward, we see a lot of focus on affordable housing. I'm also reading a lot about the SGR Phase 2 and other projects coming up. The trend to go vertical also is happening. When I see the construction in Westland and in Parklands, how some of these multi-rises are multi-level buildings are coming up. So the trend is there. Of course, a bit impacted by the current context in terms of super inflationary. I'm sure it also has an impact in terms of the overall demand. But net, I see a positive growth trend for an emerging economy like Kenya.
Speaking on the market trends and challenges, I don't know what's in your intro when you sit here and you say, wow, we need to come up and tackle these particular challenges. In this particular sector, what are these current market trends that are impacting the company?
So, first of all, I would say, let's say from the market context, demand. The demand for building materials was I would say, quite strong until Q3 last year, 2023, maybe up till October. From November onwards, we are seeing a little bit of subdued demand, but we are hopeful that probably now, as we progress into the 2024, things should improve and the demand should come back. In terms of the cost pressures, as I mentioned, yes, the power cost has increased by, when I compare, let's say, January 22 to December 23, our power cost has gone up by 48%. And when you look at January alone, there's an additional increase of 17.5%.
That's huge.
That's huge, absolutely. Then there is energy is a key component in terms of our cost structure, so it impacts us quite significantly.
Absolutely. Yeah.
When you look at the currency devaluation, a lot of raw materials that we import, like energy, coal, slag, and other things, because of the exchange rate, the cost in Kenyan shilling has gone up. Then because of the fuel cost increases, everything in the supply chain gets impacted. The transportation cost goes up, the suppliers of raw material also pass on these cost increases. So it's a bit of a, let's say, cost inflationary context that we are operating in. But as I mentioned, that whatever it takes, which is in our control, to improve our efficiencies and productivity, to minimize the impact of these cost increases, we are doing it. We have not been able to successfully pass on all these cost increases to the consumer. We've tried a bit, as I mentioned, over last year, price increase, ASP as we call it, average selling price, versus 2022 has been marginal, 2.4% only.
Okay.
So that's something that we have to do. But on the other side, we are also making our effort to influence and work with our stakeholders to move to greener solutions and greener products, which have a less CO2 footprint. It's not happening on its own, but we are making our efforts to work with our partners to make it happen. On the other side, when you look at energy, cost is going up. We are now in the process of setting up a 20 megawatt solar power plant in our operations in Mombasa and Nairobi. Now this will help us move towards more affordable and greener energy. And our power bills naturally would be, it will give us a positive flip. On the supply chain, again, we are moving significantly from road to rail. So rail becomes less CO2 footprint and at the same time economically better off. And we are engaging again all the stakeholders in the government, even in Kenya Railways and National Construction, to work with us on this agenda. For example, recycling waste, solid waste into our operations. It helps in the environment, at the same time it helps in minimizing the adverse cost impact as well. So there are various levers that we are working on.
I can tell. I'm curious to know from your end, just looking around, even as I was driving here, you will see that you have what I would call competition, or people who are coming up as well. What's your competitive advantage? What's making you still be at that preferred, summit?
Okay, so see, Bamburi is a very strong brand name. Absolutely. And when I entered into this country, I can tell you the huge amount of prestige to be associated with the Bamburi brand name. What gives us a lot of pleasure is how do we do business. So we are a professional company, which gives me a lot of satisfaction that we've got experts in our company. Very solid industrial team. And again, experts in terms of commercial, supply chain. So it's a very satisfying experience to be coming every day and working with such esteemed and knowledgeable colleagues. The other thing is, as I mentioned, as a part of the sustainability lever, we work on absolutely full compliance. So that also gives us a lot of, let's say, solid footprint. We pride ourselves in terms of delivering the right quality to our consumer, the right packaging, the right quantity in the cement bags, the working with for the environment, making sure our quarries are 100% rehabilitated. So that gives us a lot of pleasure and comfort that we are absolutely compliant. And that itself gives a solid momentum when you're doing things right. It gives you that extra energy. And we are also backed up by being a part of the Wholesome Group, whether we need their support in terms of innovation, new products, developing new recipes. That's something we are absolutely supported by.
Okay.
In terms of financial, I would say we are a sort of a debt-free company.
Oh, yeah.
We are paying dividends every year to our shareholders. So we don't have that extra amount of debt which is kind of impacting us in terms of interest flows and those things in the present context.
Okay.
So net solid company, solid teams, working by the book and making efforts to take forward.
I love that, and that's actually very good because you've addressed the shareholders that hey, we are still solid and growing. Speaking of growth and innovation, just wanted to know, are there some emerging opportunities that you're currently observing or planning to capitalize on?
So innovation, I would answer this in different buckets. Let's start with the consumer and the products and the solutions that we offer. As I mentioned, we want to move more towards greener products and solutions. So I think the good thing to start with is we've got a wide range of products that we offer to our consumers. And these products and solutions are based on applications. For example, I don't know, Minor, for you cement is probably cement, right?
As long as it works, but hey, but now I've been taught something different by you in our conversation, that there's quality difference.
Yes. There's quality difference and also application as well. If you're constructing a high rise, you need a different kind of cement. If you're doing masonry work, probably you need different kind of cement. If you're doing just plastering of the wall, you would need a different kind of cement. If you're constructing in the coastal areas where there are sulfates and chlorides, you would need a different kind of cement. So what we have is, and I think this is where the consumers also need to be educated a bit more, and we need to communicate better.
I need a class as well.
So this is a wide range. That's the first thing. We work with different segments and different applications. On top of that, each of these products have a different CO2 footprint. For example, ordinary Portland cement, which is the most favorite for the the specification, it's the highest CO2 footprint product available. So we are working with our partners to make sure that we shift to different cements which are less CO2 emitting, at the same time more durable and better workability. Now that takes a lot of engagement. So this new innovation in terms of products and solutions is something that we've focused on. By the end of this year, we would have 100% moved our product portfolio to greener options. This is on the market side. In terms of decarbonization, there's a lot of innovations that we are doing in our industrial operations, so that we are able to move from the coal, fossil fuels to alternative fuels. We are working with various agencies to have waste recycling as a part of our objective. Right now we did about 50,000 of waste recycling. We want to scale it up to 300,000 tons a year. So that's again something, a part of innovation on our industrial side. In terms of supply chain, this whole effort of moving from road to rail is a part of the innovations that we are doing. We've got certain ideas there as well. Moving to cleaner energy with the solar power plants and waste heat recovery is something that again we are doing in terms of our industrial. Very small example. I don't know, when was the last time you purchased a bag of cement?
It's been a year, but
so we are working on the packaging of cement as well. As we speak, we have done trials for biodegradable bags, which means the bags can be biodegradable after they are used or the cement is out. So we are working on different designs, different material for packaging, biodegradable, so that we give the consumers an array of choices to pick up from. And last but not the least, you'll be surprised. You see this picture. This is a 3D printed houses. We have printed 3D printed houses, 11 so far in Kenya. There are 10 of them in Kilifi and one in just next door in Athi River. Now we want to scale it up. Our ambition is to have more of these 3D printed houses in Kenya. Probably it can be a part of the affordable housing.
Absolutely.
So this is again a part of the innovation. Less wastage, less CO2 footprint, and beautiful designs. We can 3D print schools as well. So there are various fronts in which we are handling this innovation agenda.
Lovely. So it's actually moving not just as providers of some of these materials needed, it's also showing that you can actually get into it and show how it can be done.
I know you just picked up absolutely the right word. We are not just product suppliers. We are suppliers of building material products and solutions.
Exactly. Getting converted here. Now, as we come to the tail end, in fact, I think my next question, you've actually already mentioned a few things here and there. But anyway, we must touch on your report that you released in November, sustainability report, and congratulations on that as well. First, what are some of the key highlights, if I may use that? I know it's a whole report. Everybody, I think you told me I'm going to get my copy, my digital copy after this. But what are one or two key highlights? I know there could be many that you could mention that you're proud of as Bamburi.
Thank you, Myra, for this question.
Yeah.
It gives me an opportunity to actually clarify the sustainability agenda that we have. It's based on 7 pillars.
Yeah.
And a lot of effort went into publishing this sustainability report, and I'll share with you the digital link.
Yes.
We did not do the paper version because of, again, for the environment.
Sustainability.
Yes. So there are 7 pillars. The first one is the 4 C's, let's put it this way.
Yeah.
Climate and energy, that's one. Circular economy, customer, innovation and new products.
Yeah.
And 4th is compliance.
Yeah.
These are the 4 C's. So in climate energy, I told about the alternative fuel, the solar, the waste heat recovery, the CK ratios, all these things to reduce the CO2 footprint.
Yeah.
In circular economy, the alternative raw materials, the waste recycling, the water recycling, the rainwater harvesting, these are the things in circular.
Yeah.
In customer innovation, I mentioned about the whole green product range.
Yeah.
And in compliance, we are focused on the green capexes and also to be the best in class in terms of ESG.
Yeah.
So these are the 4 C's.
Yeah.
Now the remaining 3 is NPS, if you can remember. Nature and biodiversity.
Yeah.
So here we're talking about the rainwater harvesting, the zero pollution, and also this 100% quarry rehabilitation.
Yeah.
Creating Bamburi Hala Park, Bamburi Forest Trail, and more such things.
Yeah.
NPSP stands for people and human rights. Again, diversity, inclusion, social initiatives. We spend a lot on health, education, children, women, and there are a whole bunch of initiatives on the social side that we do, and we want to actually scale it up even further. And last but not the least is S, which is sustainable procurement.
Okay.
We have taken up upon ourselves that 30% of what we source has to come from either women or differently abled or youth.
Yeah.
So we have that ambition to scale so that it's not just about price at which we are sourcing, but from whom we are sourcing. And quality, I mentioned already. Quality is the hallmark of Bamburi, and that's a key thing for sustainable construction.
Very true.
And making sure whoever is building with Bamburi, those structures are staying there long after we have gone.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that. Wow, I know how this is towards the closing, and my final question would be how Bamburi is anticipating the trends and how you're looking at the global trends, for example. I mean, everybody and even the economy has been getting a hit from how we're seeing things going by, and I'm sure you've not been spared as well. How are you navigating this?
See, as I mentioned, when you talk about global trends, globally, when you look at emerging economies all over the world, these trends of urbanization, need for houses, need for affordable housing, need for better infrastructure, these are all part of the global trends. And going from horizontal to vertical construction, this is a trend which is happening globally. Different countries are at different stages in terms of that journey, and so is Kenya or any country for that matter. So those are trends which tell us that yes, this building material industries will continue to grow. But then at the same time, what's happening globally is also this whole pressure on ESG, on sustainability, on net zero, on being a very responsible corporate citizen. I think this is something that Bamburi has kind of picked it up early, thanks to also being a part of the global group. And this is something where probably it will force more and more manufacturing industries to follow this trend towards decarbonization, towards sustainable operations. And this is where a lot of innovation is going to happen. And companies will be pushed to put this thing on their agenda and make those decisions right now towards this goal of net zero. So that's also a positive news which is happening. In terms of short-term challenges globally that we are facing, of course, because of these wars happening in the Middle East and also in Eastern Europe and all, the global supply chains have been disrupted. The ships which were supposed to come, the raw materials which were supposed to come, the spare parts which were supposed to come have got delayed because of these supply chain and shipping lines disruption. I don't know how long it will continue, but we in Kenya have to have some contingency plan to be able to manage these short-term disruptions.
Okay.
Also, the, let's say, a high inflationary context in Kenya, coupled with the significant devaluation of the Kenyan shilling, is something again that we have to grapple with, because when we consolidate our numbers in Swiss francs or euros, then the numbers don't look that as what we would have liked to.
Absolutely.
So this is again something of a short term, but net, I think it's a positive future.
Wow, thank you so much for your time. But just before I leave you, I would like to give you a chance to give a parting shot, especially to your shareholders, customers, and everybody who's watching.
Thank you.
Yes.
So as I mentioned, 23, we are fortunate enough to close this number on a positive highlight. The budget that we've set out for ourselves is again positive, and we are looking forward to delivering a much better performance in 2024 as well. Last year, despite all the challenges, we operated the business almost at 75% cash conversion, and this is despite the liquidity challenges and the forex challenges that we have. So I think challenges will remain. It's just that Bamburi team is absolutely geared up to deliver a solid performance in 2024. At the same time, we've had extensive discussions in terms of our mid-term planning and the roadmap 2027 and ambition 2030. Those strategic objectives and our ambitions are also sorted, and as we speak, we are making sure that we realize those ambitions and targets as we go along. Bamburi's team is absolutely geared up to work with our stakeholders, whether shareholders, community, or other customers and other stakeholders. And I'm very excited to be here in Bamburi and in Kenya.
Mohit, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, Mahinur. Really appreciate it.
Excellent.
Thanks a lot.
There you have it, Mohit Kapoor, the Bamburi Group MD and CEO right here. And he's quite optimistic that, hey, they're yet to even hit the sky and they're going to still keep doing better. Very optimistic, and we appreciate him for his time. I leave you now with the markets. Thank you so much for your time.